My attitude towards Christians. I was born and raised in a small industrial city called Bokaro Steel City in the state of Jharkhand, India. Since I was a boy, I used to hate Christians. Not Jesus, but Christians who were lukewarm and were only professing Christians. There were two main reasons. The first reason was that I truly believed Christianity was the religion of the Britishers. The Brits had ruled over our land for centuries, and I believed they brought a foreign religion called Christianity to our land. It was the religion of the white man, and they had this evil plan to make the whole world Christian and make everyone follow their religious beliefs. That is what I ignorantly believed, a religion which is foreign and not of our own. The second reason I hated Christians was for an agenda that they had. In our locality, there were few Roman Catholic priests who used to offer money to many poor communities in our city of Bokaro and used to almost bribe them to come to their churches. Throwing money at financially poor people to convert them to Christianity and fill their church seats was their agenda, and I had a strong disgust for that. I even hated it more when one day our maid started going to church because she was bribed into doing so. I was in 12th standard then. We know it because she told that to my mother one day. She was not a born-again soul, and neither did she personally knew Jesus or what he has done on the cross. Not one bit. So now instead of going to a temple, she was attending a Sunday church. Instead of wearing an necklace, she was wearing a cross necklace. Only the name of her religion and her temple changed, not her soul. She was basically the same person spiritually. What happened then raised many questions in my furious mind. Questions like why God has created so many religions. If God is the same God for all religions, why then misguide people with different rules and all? Why can't God remove all religious beliefs that divide us and bring us under one unified belief? I am a Hindu boy because I was born in India and was raised by a Hindu family. Hypothetically, if I was born in Saudi Arabia, I would have definitely been a Muslim, or in Japan, I would have practiced Taoism. These were some bold and rage-filled questions that I had, and I knew my parents could not answer them. They would have told me to not ask such questions, so I kept all that frustration within me. These questions were way beyond my league at the time, the answers to which came to me years later. How can you say we are wise and the law of the Lord is with us? But behold, the lying pen of the scribes has made it into a lie. Jeremiah 8 verse 8. Year 2016. Fast forward many years, and it was 2015. My college was completed the previous year, and I started working in Navi Mumbai. This year was very dark for me as I just came out of a demonic oppression. At that time, I didn't know that. It was mostly incidents that happened with me in Navi Mumbai because a person whom I thought to be a very dear friend of mine backstabbed me. I considered him my brother. We were living together in the same apartment as we both worked in the same company as engineers, and it took a little time for me to realize that I was being manipulated, used upon, and was just working like a mechanical tool. I was not very happy with my 9-to-5 job either. I was gasping for some inner peace. Once I fully realized what the issue was, I immediately took the first opportunity to leave the company, as well as that whole world that I had created, to come back to my hometown. It was December of 2015. For the very first time in my life, I was directionless and also jobless as I had no jobs lined up in front of me. I am the kind of person who plans and keeps a backup for any possible outcomes that could happen, even for the tiniest issues, taking logical steps one at a time. But this time, I was without a plan. The new year 2016 started, but I had no idea what to do. A big question mark was hanging in front of me. What will I do? Though I got that immediate dose of inner peace, but it was short-lived. I had left my previous job in Mumbai. I fled from there and came back to my hometown of Kolkata. For quite a while, I was at the mercy of my parents. This was the moment when my pride in myself was completely shattered. My shoulders were too weak to carry this mess. The "I can handle this all on my own" attitude had completely vanished, and I was left depressed. I felt worthless because I was not earning money at that time, but mostly because I was heartbroken. One of my dearest friends had backstabbed me. Who can I trust now? Meanwhile, around this time, I wanted to boost my pride somehow. To do so, I joined a small NGO and visited an orphanage center in Kolkata to donate my old clothes. The driving force for that was not to do good for the orphans there, but was solely to feel good about my situation by donating clothes. Have you done something good with a self-serving intention, hoping God would notice that? I certainly did. I wanted God's attention on that act of mine, some sort of Kickstarter blessings package to start showering on me, as God would be super pleased to see me doing such selfless acts. I made sure to take many pictures of me posing, looking at the camera as if donating few used clothes was a great philanthropic work. It was as if subconsciously I was looking at God during my act of donating, saying, "See God, what a good person I am. I take care of the poor and orphans. Now you do good things for me." My soul was buried deep in my pride, and I knew that. At least this incident made that certain. Recovering out of all this was not what I knew could be done with my own strength. Time was plenty, and there was nothing much I had to do. Now that I was broke and had a lot of free time, I wanted to utilize these moments somehow, and so was motivated subconsciously to find an answer to all of my philosophical questions I had asked myself for so many years. The soil of my heart was ready to nurture the seed of my old curiosities. A perfect time that God intended to grow in me, that seed which He planted almost a decade ago. Chapter 2. The question: if you were to die today, where would you go? Heaven or hell? In 2016, I was broke, and so had a lot of spare time in my hand. Researching about deep philosophical topics on YouTube was growing as an addiction in me, so I thought to use it to my advantage. Today, if you are having any good intellectual question or want to dig into anything deeper, the internet is the best solution for you. No doubt. Honestly, the internet is a weird place. It is a mixture of all sorts of information that you can learn and benefit from. You will find some really awful stuff, some misleading stuff, some half-truths, and some pure gold stuff. But how will you identify the gold stuff? It is you who has to go through tons and tons of this stuff to identify that gold or gem information to hold on to develop your worldview. You should cross-verify a topic from 3 or more sources and link all the details to make a factual point. Something that is closest to the truth and not biased information. The data that compels your mind to think on your own, to make wise decisions, and not to blindly adopt any information without verifying them aptly with other available sources. As days went by, I was getting better at researching on various topics over the internet. In today's data-driven world, researching online can become a very high-demand skill set in the marketplace. As YouTube recommendations go, one day I stumbled upon a video that asked a very compelling question of me. I knew this question was it. The question simply asked, if you were to die today, where would you go? Heaven or hell? This question has really made a lot of lost souls think twice about their salvation. For me personally, it really made me think more deeply than any other question. It grew in me within a week. This thought kept bugging my conscience. Where will I go after I die? I had no answer to that question. It felt very offensive to me. I tried my best to forget it, but something in me kept bringing this question to my mind all the time. Well, I am a good person. Am I not? Of course, I am headed towards heaven. Why not? Does heaven really exist? Is there any evidence of heaven or hell anyways? Or will I sleep forever after I am dead? What absurd questions, right? Who in their sane mind would want to go to hell? And by any chance, if someone comes to know that they are walking towards hell, will they not immediately change their way in the opposite direction? I was asking these questions to myself. Till then, I believed anyone who lived a good life. Did good deeds go straight to heaven after they die? No questions asked. Just your good deeds must be more than your bad deeds, and you are all set for heaven. People like Hitler, Stalin, Genghis Khan, mass murderers, serial killers, who have killed millions are the ones who deserve hell. They must rot in hell. Not people like you and me. We definitely are way better people than them, and so we will never ever go to hell. I know many of you reading now think pretty much the same way, right? I was compelled to start researching this, or else it would keep bugging me for the rest of my life. I had to answer that question anyhow. Will I for sure go to heaven after I die? Is it 100% guaranteed? What if I go to hell? I was not sure if I was going to heaven or not. I needed full confirmation. I was broke and had no work, so, yeah, let the quest for this answer be my purpose for now. Had no idea what I was about to find. God had been setting these circumstances in my life like a series of dominoes. This question was the first domino to fall, starting the rest of the series to fall ahead. I was hooked and planned to dig deeper. And you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. Jeremiah 29, verse 13. Chapter 3, Phase 1, Research. If I were to tell you that I am a black Swedish woman who lives on the planet Jupiter and commutes to Mars for my work of mining stardust, would you believe me? Will you offend me with the truth, or will you let me be in my own ignorance? I may also believe that you owe me $1 billion in cash, and I need the payment today, ASAP. Will you agree to that and pay me the full amount? It's my belief. It's my version of the truth. How dare you not believe in it? Shut up and comply. Will you just nod to whatever I said, or would you give me a tight slap and tell me to come to my senses? Unfortunately, many live in similar confusions every day in this information age. It may not be as ridiculous as the above two examples that I shared, but people hold on to many beliefs which are not based on facts, but purely on false information and emotions. People attach their self-worth and self-esteem with the information shared on the many social media platforms. They feel a need to upload all their best moments of their existence in order to create an illusion of a fake well-being. This leads many to buy that illusion and form certain ideas of their own lives, often falling in depression and an obsession with a fake lifestyle to maintain, at least on the internet. These are the people who took the misleading stuff from the internet, thinking it to be gold, believing whatever their emotions tell them to believe. Any type of content or data mixed with loads of half-truths is what I wanted to avoid from my investigation. I wanted to know the truth. The truth. Will I be offended with what I find? Yes, of course I will. But will that stop me in my research? I hope it does not. Falling for whatever is convenient to believe, as per our worldview, is easy, but it keeps us in darkness all the time. It is the darkness of not knowing the truth. Many people cannot handle the truth very well. They get emotional over their beliefs and harden their heart to whatever they have known to believe. If it's not their emotions, then cultural traditions and worldly pleasures are there to do that job. Proper digging, regardless of how it feels, is essential for everyone. Researching on things you truly want to discover is easier than ever. What is stopping you? I suppress my ego and my worldview to sit in the back seat and let truth take me wherever it leads. The only principle I had was to have no biased view on any thought or belief. This was important to consider because today's information is mainly controlled in a specific narrative. The global mainstream media and social media have their own dark agenda to control our thought process. I definitely need to avoid false information or any individual's biased opinion, because the last thing I want to have in my research is biased opinions disguised as facts by some so-called expert. Total unbiased truth. After all, what could go wrong? There is nothing for me to lose. I will just stand like an umpire and observe everything neutrally. If I stumble on something great, I can just add it to my worldview, and anything offensive will go straight into my intellectual dustbin. A great mindset to start the Phase 1 journey. This decision alone brought a sudden sense of peace in my heart. I knew that was an indication from God. Whatever was coming ahead of me was going to be awesome.